Welcome to the show. It is Thursday as we come to a sprint on today's show. It'll be all rapid fire. And for those not familiar with the format, rapid fire means we're going to cover a lot of different topics in a relatively short amount of time. We'll be here for a little bit more than an hour. We've got Big Ten basketball coming up a little bit later tonight. It is here on Sports Radio WSBT. It is Purdue. Who's Purdue playing? I had this written down and then I forgot to carry it over to my little sheet. I'll find it here. But it's Purdue tonight. How are you today, Vince?
I'm doing great. Purdue plays Northwestern, by the way.
Thank you. I knew it was a Big Ten team.
Yes.
It is the Big Ten tournament after all.
It's been quite the couple of weeks. I'll just leave it at that at the day job. And I walked in the door about 5 minutes ago, had a chance to say hi to my family, and I'm like, I gotta go.
I'm going to the basement now.
Yeah, pretty much. So it's I had to have a chat with a coworker today about, hey man, we just gotta leave work here. It'll all be here when we get here tomorrow. One of those kind of talks. It's okay. And just got to get after it tomorrow. So I'm excited to be here and talk about something not involving the code of conduct and suspending kids and things like that.
I'm glad that I could be here for you.
I appreciate you, brother.
I do want to thank, by the way, the 18 people who have confirmed that Mishawaka Marion boys basketball coach Rob Berger has been suspended for their 3A regional game this weekend against East Chicago Central. So we didn't have to. It's like, have you seen any of this? Did you know that it happened?
I actually did.
I always love the first one does it and then 50 people afterwards. I have confirmed. Okay, great.
Thanjust
great.
Was the confirmation by looking at the other people's Facebook posts? What was your confirmation? But
no one's going to think less of you as a reporter because you didn't go out of your way to confirm something that 30 other people already had. But
yeah,
he won't be coaching this weekend. Apparently, from what I saw, it has something to do with using someone who's not a member of the team during practice.
Yes. And if I'm going to extrapolate from that, my guess would be it is a prospective 8th grader would be my guess.
Oh boy.
And I have no facts. I have no nothing, but my guess is it's, hey, why don't you come to practice and see how we do things? And hey, why don't you jump in? You can see what it's like to be a Marion Knight.
Interesting.
Just classic high school stuff, high school recruiting, because it's all over the place. We know it. And it just it was self-reported. So touche to Marion for self-reporting.
Right.
But tough time.
It's not the first time it's happened though, right?
It said it was repeated offense.
Mm-hmm.
And so again, tough time to get suspended going into the regional, obviously. And the regional now is only one game, where in the past it used to be 2. And so you got one game, you could be a regional champ, and you're not going to be there. That's tough.
Not going to happen.
Yeah.
Not gonna happen. So they'll play their game this weekend in the regional without their head coach. Mishawaka Marion will. I kind of wonder if World Baseball Classic, if Team USA might have been better off just not playing without their manager a couple of days ago, but it worked out last night. How about Vinny Pasquantino, baby? 3 home runs to power Italy past Mexico in the World Baseball Classic, 9-1. The win, of course, puts Italy into the World WBC quarterfinals, but it also pulls Team USA into the quarterfinals by virtue of their win over Mexico. Vinny Pasquantino had never had a 3 home run game in his life before last night. The Kansas City Royal getting it done for America, baby.
And now his number 9 is on 3 times on the old espresso machine that's in the dugout. Which, by the way, I hate coffee and espresso, all like that, but that's still a cool, I don't know, homage. Or,
Team Italy. Yeah.
It's cool. I dig it, man. I dig it. And they all have to take, when you hit a home run, you got to take a shot, and they got the double kisses going on and the fingers and the.
The thing is, I kind of feel like if you're hitting the espresso shots during the game, like you might end up where Team USA was a couple nights before. You might need that post-game, celebration with a few bottles of bubbly and whatever else to kind of come down a little bit off that bump, huh?
I mean, they're at this point, look, they went 4-0 in pool play. Like, you can go out and celebrate a little bit. They don't have to play till Saturday. So,
Tommy doesn't like my talking with the hands.
That's what we do.
Yeah, it's Scale of 1 to 10. What are the chances teenage Vinny DeDario would have had a poster of Vinny Pasquantino on his wall?
First of all, let me just tell you how much I love this question. But no one grew up in my house, and nobody would understand the fact that I was not allowed to put anything on my walls. So the answer is 0. But he would have been one of my favorite baseball players just because of his name.
Household. I never would have thought that.
Oh, no. Like, our house was like the inside of like Architecture's Digest or whatever the magazine is. Yeah. So
didn't realize. So, like, even inside the closet, you couldn't put something like pin something up inside the closet.
No, that would have been bad for me. If
I got a feeling though, you and Jesse might be breaking out the Vinny jerseys here in the near future.
I want the blue, and I like the blue with the Italia across the front. Like, I am down. It's a good look, man. It is a good look. And I turned on the game. It was 2-0 last night, and I was like, well, 2-0 might do it, and then they just kept pouring it on, and Mexico was also booting the ball all over the place too. And it's just like, I don't know if it's just playing Italy that people just can't handle it or what, and then, of course, then Italy's just knocking homers out all over the place as well. So
yeah,
it's a good game. And how lucky is Team USA right now? I mean,
I know,
like,
big time. And I don't care how much Mark DeRosa tries to backtrack on this and say, "Oh, I knew." Just stop talking. Just stop talking. Like, you didn't know. And honestly, you shouldn't be the manager. And like, I saw Adam Wainwright with this long, drawn-out defense of DeRosa, and it's like, well, he's got these two guys who used to be managers helping him in the dugout. Well, why aren't one of those guys,
right?
Old Grandpa Rossi being one of them? Like, why aren't one of them just managing, considering they actually have managerial experience while DeRosa's been on TV for the last 10 years or so?
It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And I don't know what the reasoning behind having him as the manager and then propping him up with two other actual managers. Like, that just doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. And it's that old adage, right? It's like, I think Lou Holtz said it recently, and I don't think it's attributed to him, but it's, how does it go? Let the world think that you're a fool without opening your mouth and proving it, or something along those lines.
Better to remain silent and be thought a fool than to open your mouth.
There you go.
Remove all doubt. Yeah.
Thank you. That's the one right there. It's like, stop talking, dude. Like, just stop. You're embarrassing yourself, and now you have an opportunity to redeem yourself, by the way.
Feels like someone we're going to talk about here in a minute.
Well,
kind of falls into that category as well.
That is true. As I said in the chat, it's the gift that keeps on giving.
It is
that one. Yeah,
it is. Absolutely. It is. I do want to ask you this though, before we move on, since we've got, so much good Vinny content here after Vinny Pasquantino's big night last night for Team Italia. Where does Vinny Pasquantino rank on your list of the best Vinny Vinces of all time?
Well, and it depends on what route you want to go, obviously, because you've got Vincent Van Gogh. He's obviously a very famous painter. You've got Vinny Barbarino.
Yes.
Is a fake Vinny, but still a very popular
movie
Vinny.
Characters count. They definitely count.
Well, Vinny Barbarino is definitely. You got My Cousin Vinny.
Oh, that's right.
You've got Vince Carter in the NBA.
Yeah.
I mean, he walked on the air like it.
Vince Vaughn.
Oh, classic.
Can't forget Vince Vaughn.
No,
I put Vince Vaughn at the top of the list of Vince's.
That's up there, man. I have met a lot of like quote unquote like famous people in the sports world and things like that having this job, but like meeting Vince Vaughn, that might top it all for me.
I still remember, wasn't it the Navy game, the overtime game, you and Vince Vaughn boogieing next to each other, and before everything fell apart.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's great. It's a day I will never forget.
On the sideline.
I know. Right. Like that's like, it's like, people brag about people that they've met and stuff like that. That doesn't do anything for me, but like, I met Vince Vaughn. Like, that makes me feel like all good inside. I'll brag about that one.
You've always got it. That's exactly right.
I know, man.
Timmy says Vince Lombardi. He's more on my honorable mention list. I mean, he's great,
but he's still a Packers coach. That's tough for me. That's a tough one.
I know. like you've already said, Vinny Barbarino, Vince from The Color of Money. Did you ever see The Color of Money? Played by Tom
long
Cruise?
time ago. I know the movie. That's the pool one, right?
Yeah, exactly. And he
Yeah.
literally wears a shirt that says Vince while they're playing pool. And he's doing I still remember that movie trailer. It was the Warren Zevon song, Werewolves of London. And, saw a werewolf drinking a pina colada at Trader Vic's, and his hair was perfect. And Vince in the movie, he like swoops his hair back when, because like the song is playing when
Vince McMahon, does he
wouldn't make my list, but
it wouldn't make mine either. I mean, I can appreciate how successful he was, and he's kind of an innovator and all of those things, but he doesn't really make my list either. Yeah.
I mean, Stymie brings up another good one, and when you think about it, John Travolta has two of the top Vincents of all time. He's got Vinny Barbarino, and then about 20 or so years later, he was Vincent from Pulp Fiction.
Okay,
so Vincent Vega.
Yeah, that's right. He was.
Yep.
He was. Vincent D'Onofrio.
Good one.
It's he's been in some good stuff.
Yeah. The Men in Black, the original Men in Black. That's one of the ones that I remember him the most for. He was like the weird. Right. Does Vin Scully count? Because I mean,
yeah, I think so.
Even though he's Vin, I mean, he's obviously a Vincent.
Yeah,
he's shortened to Vin.
I think that's fair. Yeah, absolutely. I actually watched one of those feel-good movies, and there was a guy in there portraying Vin Scully. He like befriended a kid who was like burned and all this other stuff. And again, it was a feel-good movie, but Vin Scully was like his motivation to like get better and all that stuff, because whatever. But anyway,
okay,
that was
all right. We got more USA versus Canada now. After all the USA Canada Olympic hockey stuff, we're going to have USA versus Canada in baseball, 8:00 Friday night. Televised on Fox. So that's what the quarterfinals look like. And Team Italia, for those wanting to watch, they get to wait until Saturday. They play Puerto Rico, 3:00 Saturday afternoon on FS1.
Man, just all my heritages just clashing. It's going to be great.
They are. Okay, so now we get to have some fun, because...
Now? What have we been doing the last 18 minutes?
I don't know. Brian Kelly, as you said, is the gift that just keeps on giving. He cannot just zip it up. Like he lacks impulse control. He can't keep Notre Dame out of his mouth. And the more he opens his mouth, I think that he thinks his explanations are making things better, but all they do is honestly just dig him a deeper hole.
I know.
I think. Don't take my word for it. Let's just hear from him. This is an interview that he had on Sirius XM radio. Oh, I forgot to load it up here. Here we go. If I can slide it right in. Here we go. Brian Kelly.
It's hard. I mean, we had just finished building our dream home, my wife and I. You could walk out our home and look at the Golden Dome. We tore down an apartment complex to build this beautiful home. We had no intentions of leaving Notre Dame. I was the longest, and still are the longest serving head coach, all-time winningest coach. We had no idea that this was going to come upon us, or we wouldn't have done those things. So they're really difficult. I think what the ultimate decision was for us is that we got the program back to where it needed to be. Our deal coming in was we need to get this program back to being an elite program. Everybody associates success with winning national championships or winning Super Bowls or World Series. I get that. I totally get that. But that wasn't our mindset. Our mindset was to get this program back and be consistent force in college football. And so in some instances, we felt like our job had been completed. And we had one more challenge left, and that was to win a national championship. And so that's kind of what the mindset was, leading into that decision.
So many places to go with this.
So many places to go.
I'll just start off with Brian Kelly, one-man gentrification machine, just tearing down apartment complexes.
I like how he just suddenly drops that in, that he basically made a bunch of people homeless so he could have his dream home.
Yeah.
Like, that's what that told me.
Single mom, so I could build my dream home there and look at the Golden Dome in the morning.
Like, what did you just say? Like, why? I didn't know that. I honestly
didn't either. I mean, I knew that they had built a home I didn't realize that, like, can you imagine being so rich and just completely out of touch, with anything and everything around you, that you would brag about tearing down an apartment complex so that you can build your house, put up your moat around it and walk out in your boxer shorts so you can eyeball the Golden Dome in your hot tub every morning. Like, that's
Thanks for that visual, by the way.
Build your espresso machine right next to it, I guess, as well.
I mean, obviously there are so many things about this interview or this answer that jump out at you, but that's the first one. Like, that's when I listened to this the first time yesterday, I was like, you tore down an apartment complex so you could see the Golden Dome.
Right.
What?
What is that?
What? Oh my! Tone deaf he is so tone deaf to everything else that is going on in the world.
Because it's one thing to just say, okay, we built the dream home, but we tore down an apartment complex to build my dream home.
Look, Marcus Freeman built a dream home as well, out in like the Granger area or wherever, where it was probably just an open field, whereas BK's just tearing people's homes down and, that way he can get a good view of the Golden Dome. Like, oh my God.
I know.
Yeah. I'm actually curious where that is now.
I mean, that's literally, that soundbite is Brian Kelly in a nutshell.
Yes. 100%. 100%. Well, it's good for me. What do you mean?
Yeah.
How's that? What are you talking about? How's that bad? It was an eyesore. I had
no intention of leaving. Then they just dangled all this money in front of me. But I mean, it also kind of contradicts the second part of this whole thing. It's like, great job saying the quiet part out loud, though. Okay, so you built your dream home. Great. You planned on staying at Notre Dame forever. Great. But at the same time, you had already given up on the idea that you could actually win a national championship.
Yes. It was never an idea at all. He didn't give up on it, Sean. That was never the charge.
Yeah, that was never the plan. The plan was just get the program, back on good standing. Winning a national championship was never part of the deal. So we had to go someplace else to do that.
Like, look, I'll say this. When he took the job in the first place, winning a national championship was probably the furthest from their minds, right? And I'm fine with that because the program was not in a state where you could win a national championship at that time, which is why I gave Micah Shrewsbury a hard time for saying when he came to Notre Dame, like, we're going to win a national championship. This is what blah, 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 blah. It's like, okay, well, why don't you build the program back up first? And so if that was his intention when he first got here, awesome. 12 years in, though, you're thinking national championship, because if he wasn't thinking national championship at Notre Dame, he wouldn't have left to go to LSU in the first place.
Right.
Because he wanted to win a national championship.
Right.
So without saying it, or actually saying it, he's basically saying it's impossible to win a national championship at Notre Dame. That's what he's saying.
Correct.
Like, that is clearly not true. And
that's also part of why some of the national perception of Notre Dame as a program was skewed the way it was, because it's like when Brian Kelly left, because it's like, well, he built it up. He'd been to a BCS national championship game. He had been to, a pair of college football playoffs when the field was still just 4 teams, but every time he got waxed. So Brian Kelly has done all this winning, and as he said, longest tenured and all-time winningest coach. So all these people actually took him at his word and said, wow, man, well, if he can't do it, then why should we believe anyone has a chance to do it at Notre Dame?
Well, he basically, he gaslighted everybody out there. He gaslighted the entire country that you can't win a national championship at Notre Dame. Like, that's basically what happened. And as well as the Notre Dame fan base. Like, he basically said, well, it just can't be done.
Yeah.
This can't be done. You got to go to the SEC if you want to get it done. And Marcus Freeman obviously is proving him wrong, which is fantastic. But like, the fact that he doubled down on it and said that their job was done.
Yeah.
Like, what are you?
I can't even, as a coach, I can't even imagine having that kind of mindset that you had put these self-imposed limits on what you could or couldn't accomplish. And it's like, well, we've done what we set out to do. Let's just cash our checks and, sit here and be fat and happy and build our dream home and whatever. Like, the guy obviously kept telling us that he had to shop down a different aisle. He had all these, again, self-imposed excuses and everything else that was, this box that he put the program into, and he was obviously just completely satisfied with winning 10 games every year, stacking on irrelevant wins because it was, just good enough for him to say, okay, I'm the one who rebuilt Notre Dame. But let's obviously remember Brian Kelly had 4 top 10 wins during his entire tenure at Notre Dame.
12
Marcus
years.
Freeman had 3 top 10 wins in 3 weeks during the college football playoffs in 2025.
That's exactly right. And you like how he just casually dropped in that he was the all-time winningest coach at Notre Dame too.
Right.
Like just here's that.
Yeah.
It's just he's so self-aggrandizing, and then at the same time reminding everybody that he wasn't good enough to be the head coach here.
Right. And you wonder, like, does Brian Kelly leave that interview going, man, I nailed that. Like, I made all the
Absolutely.
I made these points. I nailed that sucker.
Oh, 100% that's what he's thinking. 100%. He had like an outline of what he wanted to get across.
Uh-huh.
And he's just checking boxes, man. He's just checking boxes. Oh, I wanted to be there forever. We built our dream home. It's what we wanted. And then it was, well, we accomplished what we wanted to at Notre Dame. That was the goal. That was always the goal. We were never thinking national championship. Oh, okay. Gotcha. So like going to the national championship against Alabama, you weren't thinking about winning that game. You just wanted to be there. You just wanted to show up, no
Exactly.
big deal. The other, playoffs that you were in, against Clemson, 2019, like all these, like, we were just happy to be there, good for us.
I mean, and look, these are fair points. Justin says BK lives rent-free in our heads. Time to move on. Not really rent-free when he's the one bringing up Notre Dame and still talking about it at this point. But again, I get it. I get what you're saying. Andre says, can I just be honest and say I don't care anymore? I'm ready to move on and not hear that name associated with Notre Dame. Again, yeah. I get it. But he's out there. He's basically trying to do the let's the public relations spin on this whole thing and put some kind of shine on Brian Kelly. And like I said, I think he just nailed that second. Like he just did a Vinny Pasquantino himself and hit 3 home runs with that interview. In Brian Kelly's mind, I really think that's what he thinks.
Oh, absolutely. 100%. I mean, no one believes Brian Kelly more than Brian Kelly. I mean, that he party of one right there.
Just remember, Vince, it's not a lie. You believe it.
That's right. 100%. I had a buddy that would say that all the time when we would be talking about, education and like coaches and things like that. He's like, we'd be like, how could he possibly like say those things? He's like, it's not a lie if you believe it.
That's
like,
right.
He's right there, man. Okay.
I think we all agree with Greg, though. The best part of Brian Kelly's legacy is that he hired Marcus Freeman. And so the longest tenured, winningest coach in Notre Dame history left town. And obviously he can't get Notre Dame out of his head. But what he did leave behind was someone who was much better at him in many ways. The only thing that Marcus Freeman obviously doesn't have and that he's still catching up to is just the experience that Brian Kelly has. Because Brian Kelly became a head coach, in his 20s, I guess?
Yeah.
Like at Grand Valley State, and got to cut his teeth off the radar, make his mistakes in a place that was well out of the spotlight and move up to Central Michigan and obviously Cincinnati and then Notre Dame. But the brighter the spotlight became, now he had some success at Notre Dame, had to completely overhaul things, obviously. But again, like his resume is what his resume is. Got him to LSU, and that didn't do him much good, obviously, once he got there.
I think you said it the other day, the script could not have been written more perfectly if you're a Notre Dame fan. I mean, obviously, you get rid of Brian Kelly, who was overstaying his welcome at that point. I mean, I think we can all be honest on that. So you get rid of Brian Kelly. You get the head coach that you wanted because Marcus Freeman was by far the coach that everybody wanted, players included, right? And then the success that Marcus Freeman has had in recruiting and on the field and all of the things. And then we get to watch from afar Brian Kelly just going up in flames in LSU. Like the script couldn't be better if you're a Notre Dame fan.
Right. I mean, I'm honestly shocked that, like there's no mention of, by the way, I hired the guy who's there now, like he didn't
absolutely
take credit for that. I'm kind of surprised.
Absolutely. And you know what? We gave Brian Kelly a lot of credit for landing Marcus Freeman. Because remember, it was between LSU and Notre Dame, and LSU was throwing him more money, and Notre Dame went back with another offer, like all the things. Like he went and he secured Marcus Freeman. I mean, so I give him credit for that, and that is probably the best part of his legacy right now.
Michael makes a good point in the chat. I'm willing to bet when Notre Dame wins a natty, BK will say I hired Marcus Freeman.
It'll come out eventually.
That's when he'll take credit. Once Marcus Freeman wins it all, Brian Kelly, I'm the one who hired him.
Right.
So
right.
I saw him. I can spot talent.
I can see it a mile away.
Can't recruit it, but I can spot it. All right. I've got a couple more Vince nominations. Vincent Bo Jackson.
That's a good one because everybody forgets that was his real name.
Even though obviously he's not known as Vincent, but
I don't know why you got rid of it. I know Bo's cool and all, but come on, man. Yep. Vince is cool too.
And then old Cardinal Vince Coleman, base stealer extraordinaire. Vince Coleman.
That's right.
Let's take a break. When we come back, more rapid fire. We got some more Notre Dame football. We got some Notre Dame women's basketball. We'll see how far we get because we're going to be done in the next 45 minutes here. So take a break, and then we'll zip on into some more topics when we return. Budweiser's Weekday Sports Beat with IrishBreakdown.com. Budweiser's Weekday Sports Beat with IrishBreakdown.com, along with Vince DeDario, Sean Stires. Short show tonight, done at 6:15 because we've got Big Ten basketball tournament action coming up. Purdue and Northwestern is the game. Beefeater chiming in the chat. He says, I could be wrong or overstating Kelly's lack of involvement, but hadn't Kelly already been turned down for his second raise in 10 months and had more or less checked out? Oh, he checked out. I mean, there were things that Brian Kelly was sort of trying to get at the end. And at that point, I think the response, whether from Swarbrick administration, whoever, was it's put up or shut up time. We've already given you a lot of different things that you've asked for over the years, including the Irish Athletic Center, which, to be fair, Brian Kelly did donate some of his own money to help build. But we've already given you all these different things. How about you go win something now? Win some significant games at this point.
Yeah, Kelly was very aggressive in getting Freeman. Like that from everything that I've heard, everything that I'll just say heard. He was very aggressive in getting Freeman. And to Jack Swarbrick's credit, he allowed Kelly to go back to Freeman with more money. So, it was a team effort. Don't get me wrong. But Kelly was leading that charge to get Freeman to Notre Dame. That's the way I understood it as it was going on.
Yeah. I mean, and it's all that is ancient history at this point.
Yeah.
Freeman is the head coach. So whoever,
however he got to Notre Dame.
Kelly was actively involved in getting Marcus Freeman to come to Notre Dame. He wasn't an absentee head coach. That wasn't just, obviously when Freeman became head coach, Swarbrick was involved there because
of course,
he was the athletic director.
Right.
Yeah. Jesse says Northwestern to cover tonight. Easy money.
What's the spread, Jesse? You can't just tell us to cover. Come on, man. You got to give us something here, brother.
It's a good question.
What's the spread? Because I realize Purdue's probably, what's the point in blowing them out, right? You just, it's survive and advance and the whole thing, and that you don't need to expel all your energy to beat Northwestern.
Purdue minus 13.5. It's a lot of points.
It is a lot of points, but it is basketball. You could score 13 just by the fouling situation at the end. So I don't know.
That's very true.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Okay, Jess, 13.5.
Couple of questions we didn't get to yesterday from the Champions Lounge thread that I want to make sure that we get in today. From 13 Reasons Why. If the offensive line is what we think it may be this year, will that be because of Joe Rudolph or in spite of Joe Rudolph?
You know what? I think you, at this point, in Joe Rudolph's career at Notre Dame, I think you do have to give him credit. If the offensive line is what it is, it's going to be guys that Joe Rudolph recruited. It's going to be guys that Joe Rudolph, taught and produced at Notre Dame, right? So I think you do have to give him credit. I think it will be because of Joe Rudolph. If they're messing up, it's also because of Joe Rudolph. But if they're successful, it has to go both ways. So I'm going to give him credit.
Yeah, Mike Denbrock's not jumping in and doing offensive line drills. He's not part of that. And is this year 3 now for Rudolph, or is it going on?
Yeah, it's either 3 or
even.
Was he the O-line coach for Freeman's first year, right?
Yeah.
Or was he? Because Freeman's going into year.
No, he
5.
stand was for year 1, but then he retired as soon as Tommy Reese left.
So it'll be 4.
So he's going into year 4 then.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
So you can't just disregard the position coach because of
Right.
whatever deficiencies you think that he does or doesn't have. Yeah, as Sean is saying in the chat there, Heastan was 22. Like I said,
Appreciate that,
Heastan
Sean.
was year 1 because remember Reese had a hand after Brian Kelly left. Reese had a big hand in getting Harry Heastan
right
to join the staff, but then as soon as Reese left for Alabama,
Heastan
decided he was going to retire again. But so again, so the question is, if the offensive line is good, is it because of or in spite of Joe Rudolph? You have to say it's because of Joe Rudolph because he is the position coach and he's been here for 3 years already. And they're not just going to be good or bad on their own. They've been a pretty good offensive line. They have not quite approached the level of elite offensive line. We do expect some changes this year. And
Which you
if
got to
those
give him
changes
credit.
are made, you're going to have to give him credit for
Yeah.
it if it leads to, at least closer to elite, great, closer to elite, whatever offensive line. You've got to give him credit for, even making those moves if that's what ends up happening.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, what the involvement is with Marcus Freeman, with Mike Denbrock, all of those different things. But at the end of the day, it's the position coach, right? I mean, he's with those guys every day. He's coaching them up. He's developing them. He's doing all the things, and I'm pretty sure he's going into year 4, obviously. And so the vast majority of the guys in that room he brought in, and so those are his guys. He's not working with Harry Heastand's guys.
I mean, at this point, going into year 4, it's like, I mean, you said vast majority. It's practically.
Yeah, I'm sure that there's like 1 or 2, and somebody would correct me.
Yeah, yeah. Exactly.
But these are his guys, and if they're going to be successful, it's because of Joe Rudolph. I mean,
the fact that you've had a pretty good stream of early entry guys going to the draft, I think that says something as well. They end up getting drafted. I'll be really curious if this move with Knapp to guard takes place, how much improved that left tackle is, because like a few weeks back, I went back and looked at the 6 interceptions that CJ Carr threw, and there were a couple of them, the NC State game, and I'm trying to remember the other one where they were both where he ended up scrambling out to his right and kind of throwing them up for grabs. There was pressure that came from Knapp's side, like that could have been taken care of, if Knapp was a little bit more laterally inclined. And I think that's something he obviously is not going to have to worry about nearly as much, playing an interior position, which I think has been said here and on Brian Driscoll's show quite a bit. But again, these things have to happen, and we'll see what it looks like. But if the line play elevates as a result of any changes or just, whatever fundamentals, you've got to give the position coach credit. You can't just leave him out of that loop.
I actually give Joe Rudolph a lot of credit for potentially making this move, sliding Anthony Knapp inside, and having Will Black out there, because, you could make the argument, obviously, that, Anthony Knapp has been solid at left tackle. He got significantly better from his true freshman year to his true sophomore year. And, if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of a thing. But to make as Sean in the chat says, you got to get what does he say? Still have to get the best 5 and the right fit to slide him inside, because you may have a better left tackle on the roster and you want to get him on the field. That's taking a chance, and to your point, Sean, if that really pays dividends, then you really do have to give Joe Rudolph credit. You have to, and I do think the offensive staff knew the limitations of Anthony Knapp, but they also knew, we are not going to move him unless he's being challenged by somebody.
Right.
And
someone had to show that.
Yeah.
Someone was going to have to show that they were a better option.
Right.
And I don't think that there was that last year, in part because 1, Knapp already had a year under his belt. 2, Jagasaw was hurt again. So I think that took away an option there where he obviously would have been a strong candidate to go out there and play left tackle. But and then you just had so much youth behind it that obviously they didn't feel like any of those guys were ready to go at that point.
Yep.
Beefeater is asking if there is a run game coordinator, or is that on offense, or is that just on defense? There is no run game coordinator that Notre Dame. Well, no, there is. No, that's defense. That's
defense. They have a pass game coordinator. Gino Guidugli is the pass game coordinator. And to your point, there is a run game coordinator defensively, but not on the offense, as far as I can tell.
Correct.
So.
Just the defensive side of the ball. No run game coordinator on the offensive side of the ball. Okay, another question from the Champions Lounge yesterday. This one a little bit lighter. This is from Chris. Start, bench, cut. I'm curious what you know about any of these. He says, this is for Sean because Vince and Jesse probably haven't seen any of these movies. And I don't see Chris in here today, so he's probably going to be mad at me because I forgot to talk about it yesterday, and now I'm talking about it today. So start, bench, cut, 3 Westerns: The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, Big Jake, or The Cowboys. Have you seen any of them, Vince?
Nope. I can count the amount of Westerns I've seen probably on one hand. So
not a big Western guy.
No, not usually. That's not really the genre that I tend to watch. So.
I'm not a huge Western guy either. And Big Jake and The Cowboys are both John Wayne movies. And that, like, John Wayne's stardom definitely came before my time. Like, one of the few, like, I remember 2 Mules for Sister Sarah. That was a John Wayne movie, and Rooster Cogburn, True Grit. Like, those are probably the 3. So I've not seen either Big Jake or The Cowboys. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, that's right up my alley. I'm a much more a Clint Eastwood spaghetti Western guy. So what's
the term spaghetti Western? Can you explain that to me?
They were made in Italy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they
makes sense.
They went to Italy and made a series of Westerns over there, and so they called them spaghetti Westerns. Was how that term was coined. Yeah.
Okay. I never knew that. I've heard that term before, but I never knew why.
Did you ever see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
No, I never did.
Tarantino?
Yeah,
movie?
I know of it, but no, I never.
Yeah, there's kind of a storyline in there that's
okay,
sort of based on like that whole like going to Italy and making Westerns and that kind of thing. But yeah, so I would start The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. And, like Fistful of Dollars, A Few Dollar More, like those are all like some of the Eastwoods. But the other 2, I'm just basically benching both of them. So I'm starting Good, Bad, the Ugly. I'm benching Big Jake and The Cowboys because I haven't seen either one of them. Outlaw Josie Wales, that's another good one. Yeah. So, but I'm not like, I've never been deep into the Westerns either, Vince.
Apparently your dad was. Jesse,
and my dad was an Eastwood guy.
Okay,
that's where kind of where that came from.
He said your dad could give a good ranking.
Yep, Jesse, I didn't see that in there. He says, yeah, Grandpa could give a good ranking of these. You're right.
There you go.
My dad was much more up on the Westerns, and I'm sure that he saw quite a few of the John Wayne and everyone else. So, Unforgiven, probably like Unforgiven and Tombstone. Have you seen either one?
I've seen Tombstone.
Okay.
I've seen Tombstone. Great movie.
Yeah.
Great movie. But like the older like Westerns and stuff like that, I've never seen really any of those, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Like it wasn't something that my dad watched, you know what I mean? And so I wasn't really brought up with all of that. And so yeah. Yep.
Joey Pop says Django, very much in the spaghetti Western genre. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So there's your walk down Western lane.
Love that. I like the offshoot questions. Those are fun.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, ESPN.com had an article on some top takeaways after the women's basketball conference tournaments last week. They had some teams that they think should either be concerned or encouraged, and Notre Dame made their encouraged list. Here's what ESPN.com said this week about Notre Dame women's basketball. The Fighting Irish are playing their best basketball of the season, and we're a couple of better possessions away from upsetting Duke in the ACC tournament semis one day after beating NC State. Hannah Hidalgo has scored more than 25 points in 6 of her past 7 games, and the one she missed was a 24-point performance in the ACC tournament loss to the Blue Devils. ACC teams play against Hidalgo regularly and still haven't been able to stop her. Now the Irish will face only teams unfamiliar with her style. So that's what ESPN.com had to say. So Vince, that says blank to you.
That says that ESPN is on board with what you and I have been talking about for the last few weeks. Notre Dame is playing their best basketball of the season, and this is when you want to be playing your best basketball of the season. And, Hannah Hidalgo is making a case for player of the year. She's a dark horse candidate, obviously, for it, but she's the reason. She's one of the main reasons that Notre Dame is playing the way that they are, and other it's like what the tide raises all ships. Like she's raising the tide at Notre Dame, and the other players are coming with her, and they're playing their best basketball of the season. And I like the way they're playing. I think they're going to make some noise in the tournament.
You're going deep into the mantras.
Yeah,
today
I am. I don't know what. I'm just feeling it today.
Yeah, I think that last line, ACC teams playing against Hidalgo regularly still haven't been able to stop her. Now the Irish face teams only unfamiliar with their style. I think that is an excellent point because, like, if you look at the winning streak before it came to an end, they had won. They played 4 teams in a row that were rematches: Louisville, Miami, NC State, and then Duke. And obviously they won 3 of those games. Louisville was a top 10 team, Duke a top 10 team, and they came within 2 points of Duke in the rematch after losing by 15 or 16 in the first one. So, and in all of those games, as they said, like, look at what Hidalgo was doing. And I think that some of the things that she does, like, if you're a coach in the conference and you see her every year and you've seen her now, like, at least 4, and like in Louisville's case, it's probably 7 or 8 times that they've played against her already, and they still have a hard time.
No answer.
That. And that's part of, like, getting into the NCAA tournament. That's where some of these teams are able to make their runs and stuff like that. So yeah, I think that I think it's a great assessment. They are hot. And I think that they're going to be a really tough matchup, especially for teams who haven't had to game plan and go up against them in the past. Joey says, what's the women's team missing? Well, I mean, they're still missing some depth. And, like, they are missing probably like some true dominant post play. They still get, a lot of really good things from their posts. Like I talk about Malaya Coles all the time. Like she goes beyond just the box score because of the fact that she's a post player, one who's willing to stand in there and take some charges, which not a lot of post players will actually do. It's like, if you think about it, it's typically guards who are doing much more of that. But she's, she also comes up with a couple of steals a game, and just like the innate, like diving for loose balls and just doing all those little things that don't always show up in the stat sheet. But yeah, I mean, whatever they're lacking, they have played through that already. We've talked about this over the course of the season. This was always going to be a transition year to some extent, but they have gotten better as the season has gone on, and they've got a National Player of the Year candidate. And I think that you take those 2 things and you roll that into the NCAA tournament, and I think they've got as good a shot as anybody to, at the very least, get to the Sweet 16, or depending on their matchup, maybe even go a little bit further than that. And I don't think most people would have been saying that about a month ago.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what their matchups are. Where you guys get sent, number one, what those matchups are, to get out and get to the Sweet 16. But then more specifically, what are the matchups going to be at the Sweet 16 level, the Elite 8 level? Like, those are the 2.
Right.
I think,
and that's obviously, that's where the rubber hits the road.
For sure. No, yeah, for sure. For sure.
But again, like, depending on what the matchup happens to be,
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it past them.
I know.
To pull off an upset or 2. They've already beaten a top 10 team, and again, played really close with another one. Beefeater, the remake of 310 to Yuma was good. I forgot about that one. And the remake of True Grit as well. Did you see either one of those, Vince?
Negatory.
Probably not.
Yeah.
I mean, Vince hasn't even seen the Bourne movies or Mission Impossible. So how can we expect him to see all these Westerns?
They're all true. That's all true. I tried to watch Mission Impossible, the first one, back when it first came out. I was a high schooler at the time. Fell asleep. Wasn't good.
You're amazing, Vince.
I know.
You're just amazing.
What can I say?
You're not really, other than Maverick or, Top Gun, you're not really a cruise guy, are you?
I would not call myself a cruise guy. No. I mean, I like some stuff that he's been. I like his older Cocktail, Risky Business.
Okay.
Those kind of movies. I love those movies.
Jerry Maguire.
Yeah, Jerry Maguire, great movie. Yeah. So I wouldn't say I'm a Tom Cruise fan, but I like his older stuff.
It's kind of odd. Tom Cruise has never made a Western.
That would be weird.
Not that I could. They did. He and Nicole Kidman did Far and Away. Not really a Western. Did you ever see that?
Yes, that's the one
They
where
were Irish.
yeah, and he comes and he has to stake this claim in the land, and
They
it's
went to
Nicole
Oklahoma or something
Nicole
like that.
Kidman.
Yeah.
It's the land rush that they had. Yeah, I did see that one actually. There's some bar fighting going on there.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd call that a Western, but he's not, like
Yeah.
traditional, like on the horse, duster cowboy and all
I
that.
feel like it's more of a romance than anything else, to be honest with you. But
Exactly.
yeah, I know exactly which movie you're talking about.
That's exactly.
Yep.
All right, we're going to take our last break and then back, and we'll see what we can slip in before the show
All right.
ends tonight here in about 20 minutes or so, because we've got Big Ten basketball coming up at 6:15 with Vince DeDario, Sean Stires, Budweiser's Weekday Sportsbeat with IrishBreakdown.com. All right, rolling into the second hour, short second hour of Budweiser's Weekday Sportsbeat with IrishBreakdown.com, and all rapid fire edition today. Tons of topics with Vince DeDario, Sean Stires, as we kind of circle back around. We've got just a few minutes here before Purdue and Northwestern at the Big Ten tournament hits your airwaves. Vince, Miami, Ohio finally lost its first game of the season today. They ran the regular season and went undefeated, but they fell to UMass in the MAC quarterfinals today for their first loss of the year. So the big question everyone's asking, you buying or selling Miami, Ohio as an NCAA tournament team?
It's tough, obviously, losing to basically a 500 team, I believe is what I was told this afternoon by someone we both know. Now you got to start stacking resumes, right? And you've got to do the whole blind thing, and you got to look and see, who is worthy and who is not worthy and things like that. I would still put him in because I think that's just one hell of a season, and I think you should be rewarded for that one hell of a season. And I
do too.
Look, are they going to win the national championship? No. But you know what? Neither are 67 other teams that are.
Neither is Auburn, who everyone's talking about.
Right, exactly. So I'm sorry, they did something special this year. They should be rewarded for. Put them in the damn tournament.
I think so as well. And I think the fact that they did go undefeated in the regular season,
right.
And this is a conference loss, I think that you can separate the two, because you should be rewarded. You're in a conference, you're still a mid-major, you're at a group of 6, obviously, but you should be rewarded for running the table in your conference and during the regular season. Do they have a great resume? No, but this is what March Madness is about. And even if they have to play a play-in, one of the play-in games next week and start with that, I think that they deserve to be in one of those games. You can't tell me that they're not worthy of being like a 12 or a 13 seed and have an opportunity to go toe-to-toe with one of the big boys and show what they can do in the tournament. It's literally what this tournament is supposed to be for. Correct. And what that first week of the tournament especially is for. I think now there would be even more there would be more eyeballs on Miami, Ohio, on whatever their first round game is, than a barely above 500 Auburn team.
Completely agree.
Or any team of that in that realm.
The tournament loses nothing by having Miami as a 12 seed, but they gain everything. That would be my argument. What do you lose by having them in there? Nothing, because a 12 seed's not going to win the title. Okay, I think we can all probably agree on that. But a 12 seed can have some upsets, and they can have some fun, and we can get all excited about a Cinderella, which by far we don't have anymore. We talked about this last year. The days of the Cinderella are pretty much over because of NIL and the transfer portal and all these different things. It's just not a thing. The George Masons of the world aren't a thing anymore. Well, now you kind of got one right here in Miami. So let's ride that train, man. I'm all for it.
I agree. Fair or foul that Indiana women's basketball is turning down a WNIT bid?
Why? Why are you turning it down? You got a chance to play some postseason basketball. I know we're sitting in the land of Notre Dame that did the exact same thing. I get that.
Yeah, exactly. And this is the NIT. It's not the NCAA tournament. I know. You're sitting there, in even one of those lower seeds. It's the NIT,
but
which is the dead NIT.
Here's my argument. Here's the argument that I would make if we're going to compare Notre Dame and Miami. Okay, is playing in the bowl game that Notre Dame was going to play and going to make their program better? And I would ask the same question about Indiana women's basketball. Would be playing in this tournament make your program better?
Noteworthy that they had 3 players enter the transfer portal today.
Well, if you're losing players off the roster, then obviously.
Whether or not they would stick around if they actually played in the NIT, I don't know. But at least 3 of them already have intentions of going someplace else.
And they're probably, if they were, even if they weren't starters, you know what I mean, and they were depth pieces or whatever, you're going into a tournament underhanded, or not underhanded. That's not right.
undermanned,
Undermanned,
personnel. I mean, obviously, gender, like
right.
we still call it man-to-man defense, regardless if it's
This
men's
is
or
true.
women's. So, you get the gist, right?
Yes, absolutely. Undergunned. I don't know. So you're not going to have your full roster. That's tough as a coach. So, having some of these extra details are very helpful in this particular situation.
Yeah, and I mean, look, it's a program that has become accustomed to being in the NCAA tournament for the last several years. They've been pretty successful down there in Bloomington, but they've really kind of backslid the last couple of years. This is going to be like the first time they miss in like 5 or 6 years. Or so. Technically, I guess they're still on the bubble, but they've already said that they're going to turn down an NIT bid. And it's like, who ultimately, did Mike Bray's Irish, when they played in the NIT, did they accomplish anything by doing so other than re-injuring Bonzi Colson's foot, and
that's right,
messing up his future? I really don't think so. And it's just there's just no buzz, there's no vibe for NIT games, whether it's men's or women's basketball. So I think if your team's not in it, Notre Dame being the prime example, if your team's mentally not into it, then why force them to do something like that?
That's fair. You have to have the pulse of your team, and I'll go ahead and say that IU women have the pulse of their team. So
we've been talking a little movies today.
Yes.
I've got a question for you on the movie.
Okay.
I had actually planned a movie question. What is the most overrated movie that you're convinced people are just pretending to enjoy?
Oh, this is easy.
Okay.
Christmas Story.
Jesse would agree with you on that.
I mean, having it on that 24-hour loop, like all these different traditions, you'll shoot your eye out. I think people are over it. I think they pretend, because I get a lot of flack when I say that I don't like that movie, right? So I think people will just say that they like it so that they don't have to have the hard conversations that I have to have every single Christmas time.
Yeah, see, Jesse is right
Yes.
there with the Christmas Story. You guys are unanimous on that. Mine is, I'm sure you haven't seen this. It only came out about a year ago. Sinners. Okay. Michael B. Jordan. Have you heard anything about Sinners?
No, I haven't.
It's actually nominated. The Oscars are this weekend, and it is nominated for an Academy Award. I thought Michael B. Jordan was fine. He's nominated for Best Actor in it, but it was just like, I thought it was a good movie, but it's gotten so much hype and attention. I just don't like it. To me, it's not an elite elevated movie, but so many people love it. Is that
the one where he plays his brother too?
Yeah, he plays twins.
Yeah. I think like that kind of shtick gets people all excited. You know what I mean?
I think you're probably right.
Okay.
But it also had Haley Steinfeld in it, Josh Allen's wife.
Sure, that doesn't hurt.
Yeah, doesn't hurt at all. But I saw it at the movie theater. I saw it again, I did a rewatch a couple months back when it was on one of the movie channels. It's like, maybe I missed something the first time. And again, it's just like, okay, it's a decent movie, but I never got what all the hype was about.
There have been movies of that ilk where like the critics just absolutely love them, and and then everybody else is like, well, if the critics love it, then I guess we have to love it. You know what I mean? Like that's when I watch the Oscars, I think about that all the time. It's like, people really like this movie, because I didn't get that when it was out.
Beefeater says, don't forget to watch the Sinners credits. I don't know if I ever did that. I'll have to see if I can record it and just to watch the credits at the end. We were talking about Westerns before. Stymie wants to know if you at least watched Young Guns back in the day. Emilio Estevez.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think I did see that.
Who the Young Guns were. Was Sheen in there as well?
I think I saw that, but probably it was a one and done kind of a situation.
Yeah, Emilio Estevez, Lou Diamond Phillips, Charlie Sheen, Kiefer Sutherland, like mid to late 80s.
Okay.
And then they made Young Guns 2, and they were all doing peyote and everything like that. So, yeah. Very interesting. Yep, like Andre said, Lou Diamond Phillips. You haven't seen old Lou Diamond in a while. Do you even know who Lou Diamond Phillips is?
I've heard the name. I don't think I could pick him out of a lineup.
He played Richie Valens in La Bamba back in the day.
Oh, okay.
That's kind of the one that I
remember. Yeah, I know this guy. Yeah, I got you.
Yep.
I've seen him in stuff.
All right. Well, I think that's it, Vince.
Okay.
We're winding this thing down now.
I've been waiting for that question because I've seen it creep up a couple of different times.
It's been on the list, and
Yeah.
I wanted to just kind of slip it in there.
That's good. I appreciate that. And
We had so much movie talk on today's show.
And there's some questions in there that we didn't get to that I'm also equally excited about. So
there's always tomorrow.
I know there are. That's what I'm excited about.
All right. He's Vince. I'm Sean. That's going to do it for today. Again, quick show. We'll have a quick show again tomorrow because of Big Ten basketball. We've got Purdue and Northwestern on the way. We will talk to you tomorrow on Budweiser's Weekday Sports Beat with IrishBreakdown.com.